75 degrees in Indiana. Good afternoon. I'm Alex Donaldson on WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. It's currently 12:05 on this 8th day of July, 2025. The company involved in the demolition of the Homer City generating station can resume work at the site after a state court ruled that Homer City redevelopment cannot block access to their equipment and scrap materials. According to an order issued Thursday by Judge Philip Ignelzi, Homer City redevelopment and contractor Independence Demolition must follow Frontier Industrial Corporation access to the demolition site. Frontier paid $1.5 million to perform the main demolition of the iconic smokestacks in Center Township in exchange for the rights to sell the scrap and salvaged equipment except those identified by Homer City redevelopment. The demo company claimed it was removed from the project on June 18th, and its equipment was locked up on the same day, despite an announcement that they had until the 22nd to complete operations. In the statement, Homer City redevelopment officials said that while they regret the dispute of the demolition came up, it will not impact the project's timeline, and they hope to resolve all issues quickly and fairly. The WCCS news time is now 12:06. The news brought to you by Indiana Regional Medical Center. Better health, better life.
Better life.
WCCS news time is 12:07. Clymer's police chief that is charged with strangling and other crimes connected with a domestic dispute is in court today for a preliminary hearing. Court documents show that 44-year-old Charles Waller Jr. of Indiana is due before District Judge Suzanne Steffi today. State police say that on June 18th, they were sent to a home in the 200 block of 2nd Avenue in Hilewood for a 911 hang-up call. When troopers arrived, an unnamed adult woman told them she was involved in an argument with Waller when he shoved her to the ground and started to strangle her. The victim was injured in the attack. Waller was on scene when police arrived, and he was taken into custody. He has been free after posting 10% of the $25,000 bail that was set at his arraignment. Waller is currently on suspension from his position on Clymer's police force, where he served as chief since 2021. A Clymer man was arrested after an incident last night where shots were fired. Clymer Borough Police say that at 10:02 last night, officers were dispatched to the 700 block of Morris Street for a report of gunshots in connection with a domestic incident. When police arrived, they determined that a woman was involved in a physical confrontation with 21-year-old James Schaefer that later led to a fight between Schaefer, the victim, and other witnesses. Schaefer fired 2 shots from a handgun to try to stop the fight. Schaefer was taken into custody and is charged with possession of an instrument of crimes, simple assault, and reckless endangerment. Clymer police were assisted by the state police and Citizens Ambulance Service. He is now in Indiana County Jail awaiting an arraignment hearing with District Judge Anthony Sato. Monday night, the Center Township supervisors approved a bid for the bleachers at First Commonwealth Bank Field. This will be paid with the $250,000 from the State Department of Community and Economic Development's Greenways, Trails, and Recreation program. The cost of the bleachers from the Stadium Solutions out of Butler comes to $199,900, but the boosters will have to pay another $7,690. Supervisors Chairman Matt Householder explained the additional cost.
They powder coated the back of the bleachers red. They painted them red, the back like the seating part. And it wasn't in the bid in the beginning, so they're going to have to pay that fee themselves.
The supervisors rejected the bids that came in for the sprinkler system in the outfield, saying that the bids came in over budget. The supervisors also approved Heather Buffington as the newest representative to the Homer Center Parks and Rec Commission. She takes over for Tom Bessel, who announced his resignation last month. State police from the Kiski Valley Barracks reported a fatal car crash that happened early last month. Officials say that on June 1st, 89-year-old Betty Strom of Latrobe was traveling south on State Route 982 in Derry Township around 3:30 p.m. As she was traveling, she went off the westbound side of the road. Her car then hit a guardrail and turned over onto the passenger side before stopping in a ditch. Strom was not wearing her seatbelt and needed to be extracted from the vehicle. She was treated on scene and then flown to Allegheny General Hospital. She died as a result of her injuries just 6 days later. State police were assisted by Bradenville and Latrobe fire departments, as well as PennDOT and Danzers Towing. Indiana County first responders had a busy day yesterday with multiple calls for service. A structure fire was reported at 4:27 p.m. on Harry Boring Road in West Wheatfield Township. Clyde, Armagh Boulevard, and New Florence fire departments, as well as 900 RIT, were dispatched. No word yet on what caused the fire or how much damage was sustained. Other calls included calls for lines down in Washington, Banks, White Township, as well as a call for a landing zone to be set up in Conemaugh Township. Rescue crews from Pennsylvania are on their way to Texas to assist in the response to devastating flooding. Governor Josh Shapiro announced that Pennsylvania Task Force 1 has been deployed to the Lone Star State to support ongoing rescue and recovery efforts. While the official casualty numbers have not yet been confirmed, officials report that over 100 people may have died, including children. Authorities in Texas are still working to assess the full impact. Governor Shapiro said the Commonwealth is praying for Texas and for every family mourning the loss of a loved one. Pennsylvania Task Force 1 is part of a FEMA National Urban Search and Rescue System and is trained to respond to natural disasters across the country. WCCS News Time is now 12:12. Up next, a check of your local AccuWeather forecast.
Indiana County weather.
101.1 FM and AM 1160 WCCS. Weather.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Today, clouds and sun with a thunderstorm. Not as warm, but humid. High of 79. Humid tonight. Moonlit sky. Low of 61. Tomorrow, humid with plenty of clouds. A thunderstorm possible in the afternoon. High of 85. Thursday, partly sunny, humid. A few showers and a thunderstorm later. High of 81. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg for your hometown radio station.
75 degrees in Indiana. Take WCCS wherever you go by listening online. Click the Listen Live link at WCCSradio.com, brought to you by Indiana Regional Medical Center, Community Living and Learning, and the Flower and Balloon Gallery. News time is 12:14.
The Pennsylvania Lottery.
Here are the winning lottery numbers from yesterday, July 7th. The daytime Pick 2 draw was 7-4. The Pick 2 evening draw was 8-0. Pick 3 daytime draw was 999. Pick 3 evening draw was 403. Pick 4 daytime draw was 0618. Pick 4 evening draw was 8393. The Pick 5 daytime draw was 62408. The Pick 5 evening draw was 65688. The daytime wild ball was 3. The evening wild ball was 1. The Cash 5 winners from yesterday are 14, 16, 19, 21, 39. The Treasure Hunt winners from yesterday are 12, 22, 24, 29, 30. Cash for Life draw was 8, 31, 45, 53, 58. The Cash Ball at 3. Match 6 winners from yesterday were 11, 12, 15, 17, 32, 42. Powerball winners were 33, 35, 58, 61, 69. The Powerball was 25. The Power Play was 5. The Powerball Double Play winners were 14, 17, 49, 52, 68. The Powerball was 7. Mega Millions will draw tomorrow. The jackpot currently sits at $70 million. News time is 12:15. Now time for a check of today's sports.
WCCS Sports.
While the Pirates were able to break their scoreless streak, they have now lost their 4th in a row. The Pirates lost 9-3 to the Royals last night. Tommy Pham clubbed a 2-run homer for Pittsburgh in the setback. Andreini got the loss, allowing 4 runs in just 3 innings of work. Pirates manager Don Kelly says it's not fun when the offense is sputtering, especially after doing well against the Mets and Cardinals.
As you go through a season, these times do get frustrating, especially with offense not clicking. It's really fun. There's a lot of energy when the offense was clicking at home and things were going really well, and now we need to find a way to pick that up.
And Brian Reynolds said it was a missed opportunity not to build on the momentum of Tommy Pham's 2-run homer.
Yeah, it was a great swing. Obviously it would have been nice if we would have built more on it, but we didn't. We had a good day.
The Pirates and Royals return to action tonight. Joe Block has our preview.
After the Royals claim Game 1 9-3 on Monday night, the Pirates can even the series and get their first win of the road trip on Tuesday night at Kauffman Stadium. And it'll be right-hander Mitch Keller going for the Pirates. He's 3-10 with a .364 ERA. He'll be opposed by Kansas City right-hander Seth Lugo, 6-5 with a .265 earned run average. And we'll come on the air Tuesday night, 7:15 for Pirates pregame, 7:40 first pitch from Kauffman Stadium for the Pirates and the Royals. right here on your home for Pirates baseball.
Speaking of Brian Reynolds, he has announced his no-trade list. Reports say that he will veto a move to several playoff teams. The Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Giants, Padres, and Blue Jays are all teams Reynolds will not play for. Reynolds has been the topic of several trade rumors so far this year as the team's struggles continue. He's sitting at a .229 with 10 homers this season so far. One rumored landing site for a potential trade is Kansas City. Pirates reliever Colin Holderman has completed his rehab assignment and was reactivated from the 15-day injured list. He had been sitting out with inflammation to his right thumb. He was optioned to AAA Indianapolis, and his last game in the big leagues was on May 19th. Holderman has pitched 15 total innings, allowing 15 runs with 11 strikeouts and 11 walks. The Curve returned to action tonight in Binghamton to take on the Rumble Ponies. Altoona is coming off a 4-2 series against the Harrisburg Senators. Bo Yu Chen will start for the Curve, while Binghamton's starter has not yet been announced. Former Pittsburgh Penguins forward Mark Johnstone signed a 2-year AHL contract with the Toronto Marlies, the minor league affiliate of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He spent the last 2 seasons with the Pens and appeared in only one game, a 3-1 loss to the Panthers in 2023. He spent all of last season with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Baby Pens, and in 51 games, he had 5 goals and 6 assists. And in the wake of free agency, with most of the top-line players signed, Josh Yeo of The Athletic believes that interest will be heating up around Penguins forwards Brian Rust and Ricard Raquel. Yesterday, Yeo wrote that league sources, quote, expect at least one of the wingers to be dealt this summer, end quote. With the Penguins trying to get younger and retool during Sidney Crosby's tenure, trading one or both of the 2 wingers to a playoff team could bring in a good return. Raquel and Rust each had over 30 goals last season at a $5 million and $5.1 million cap hit respectively, making them the most experienced and cost-efficient targets on the Pens trade block. More details are coming out about the trade of a veteran cornerback from Miami to Pittsburgh. Last week, the Dolphins sent cornerback Jalen Ramsey to the Steelers along with tight end Jonnu Smith and a 2027 7th-round draft pick in exchange for safety Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 5th-round pick. Reports say that Ramsey was being seen as hurting the culture in Miami, continually showing up late for practice, and he would undermine head coach Mike McDaniel and former defensive coordinator and recent Super Bowl winner Vic Fangio. The quarterfinals are set on the grass courts of Wimbledon. Top-seeded Yannick Sinner advanced after 19th-seeded Grigor Dimitrov retired due to an injured pectoral muscle in the 3rd set. 6th-seeded Novak Djokovic, 10th-seeded American Ben Shelton, and 22nd-seeded Flavio Cavalli each moved on to the next round with 4th-round victories. On the women's side, 7th-seeded Mira Andreeva, 8th-seeded Iga Swiatek, 19th-seeded Ludmila Samsonova, and Belinda Bencic each punched their ticket to the quarterfinals. Those quarterfinals began early this morning. On the men's side, 5th-seeded Taylor Fritz beat 17th-seeded Karen Kachanov to move on and face the winner between Cameron Norrie and 2nd-seeded Carlos Alcaraz, which began at 11:30. In the women's bracket, Amanda Anisimova leads Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova after Aryna Sabalenka knocked off Laura Sigmund earlier. I'm Alex Donaldson with today's Look at Sports. WCCS news time is now 12:21. It's time now for the funeral announcements brought to you by the Robinson Lytle Shoemaker Funeral Home.
My name is...
Here are the obituary notices for July 8th, 2025. John Nesbitt Ralston Jr. of Indiana died July 3rd at St. Andrews Village. A celebration of life service will be announced at a later date. Private interment will be in Elderton Cemetery. The McCabe Roof Funeral Home in Clymer is assisting the family. Theodore P. Gordish, 82, of Black Lake, died July 5th at his home. Friends will be received tomorrow from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Bowser Minnick Funeral Home in Indiana. Additional visitation will be held Thursday from 10 a.m. until the time of the massive Christian burial at 11 at the Church of the Good Shepherd in Jacksonville. Interment with full military honors will follow at St. Bernard Cemetery. Thomas G. Legis, 72, of Starford, died July 5th at Indiana Regional Medical Center. Friends will be received today from 2 to 4 and 6 to 8 p.m. at the McCabe Roof Funeral Home in Clymer. A funeral mass will be held tomorrow at 10 a.m. at St. Patrick's Church in Cameron's Bottom. Interment will be in St. Patrick's Cemetery. Kim Ann Marone Rogier, 55, of Indiana, died April 29th in Lumberton, North Carolina. Interment will take place Saturday at 1 p.m. in Oakland Cemetery. The Rary Bentz Funeral Home and Crematory of Indiana is assisting the family. Diana A. Colanani, 90, of Blairsville, died July 6th at St. Andrews Village. Friends will be received Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the Ferguson Funeral Home and Monument Company in Blairsville. A Mass of Christian burial will be held at 1 at St. Simon and Jude Church in Blairsville. Interment will be in St. Simon and Jude Cemetery. Harold Herc Evans, 87, of Indiana, died July 6th at his home. Friends will be received tomorrow from 12 to 2 p.m. with a funeral service to follow at the Robinson Lytle Shoemaker Funeral Home in Indiana. Interment will be in Greenwood Cemetery. Pauline Polly Ashbaugh, 79, of Northern Cambria, died July 6th at her daughter's home. Friends will be received tomorrow from 2 to 4 to 6 and 6 to 8 p.m. at the Reary Funeral Home in Hillsdale, where a funeral service will be held Thursday at 11 a.m. Those are the obituary notices for July 8th on WCCS AM 1160 and 101.1 FM, brought to you by the Robinson Lytle Shoemaker Funeral Home. Coming up next is the Sports Minute. A check of the Fox News headlines is coming up at the bottom of the hour. After that, we rejoin the Brian Kilmeade Show, portions of which are pre-recorded. I'm Alex Donaldson for WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. News time is 12:25.